We are back for another pipe surgery. Simon, how you doing?
Doing well, Rob. How are you?
I'm good. We've got a really interesting question here from somebody that actually you know, and I spotted this question on LinkedIn. It's a question
Right.
from Elliot Smus, who is Director of Sales and Go-to-Market at TensorLeap. Really, really, really insightful question from him, which is how would we sell? What's our best advice for selling to technical personas like DevOps, data personas, R&D, people in a techie role? And before I hand over to you, because I think you've got some really clever insights on this, Simon, I just want to plug in my answer to this particular question something that we're very passionate about, which is Pipe Lumina, which is
Yeah.
all about self-awareness, mindset, and quality set. And we can do another session on this and talk about this in more depth for our viewers and listeners. But this is all about understanding how you show up in the sales process as a salesperson. So, for example, you and I were actually quite similar, although you're a bit more competitive than me. Um, we're big picture thinkers, we're enthusiastic, we're collaborative, we're focusing on those types of skills. When you're dealing, and obviously this is a stereotypical, um, you know, collaboration, but often you'll have data people or techie people who are data driven, they're evidence based, they want to be in the detail. And so if you're not that type of person, you've got to play that up. I know that when I speak to someone who is data driven, I have to play up that side of me because it's not natural to me. It's not in my natural quality set. So
Yeah.
that's just a little insight from me. But Simon, what do you think?
Well, traditionally, I would suggest, although not in this case, by the way, great question, Elliot, that you try and mirror them. But I think it would be an unfair matchup, me trying to pretend that I know anything about DevOps and R&D. It's not my baby, my area. So instead of mirroring, I think the idea is to bring someone from the team, in the technical team, who can provide more of a matchup, who can talk their language, who can show credibility about any technical challenges, and you bring them as part of the sales team to the call. I mean, you might still end up following up like you do normally, but they're certainly part of that team. It's important to show that we're like for like, and we can understand and replicate their issues around technology. So I think that's the first thing to do. I mean, it still comes down to regular sales. You've got to talk up their sort of challenges as well. So what the challenges in the DevOps R&D team, what are their goals? And it'll be the normal sort of sales cycle and sales questions you would ask. But I think you need some support on that, and don't try and be something that you aren't. So one thing about mirroring is to, when it's natural, you can play up or play down something. But when you're out of your comfort zone, like I would be and you would be in this case, then send in the cavalry, talk their language, show that the technology challenges can be addressed by the solution that you're providing, and otherwise it's a regular sales process from my point of view.
Yeah, I love that. I think you're spot on with the knowledge deficit and bringing somebody on who can fulfill that deficit so that everybody feels that this is a well covered sales process. These guys know what they're talking about, and actually, they called in the cavalry and they respect that I know something that you don't, and vice versa. So, Elliot, I hope that is useful advice. And we'll see you again for another episode of Pipe Surgery very soon.